Okay, we call the meeting to order, please. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you for coming, everybody. Do a roll call vote. Roll call.
Cindy Valentine,
Absent.
Chris O'Regan,
Here.
Christy Hiltonen here, Artie Bryson,
Absent.
Joanne Shirkey,
Here.
Maureen Gorey, here, and Mark Borchardt.
Here. Okay, we have a quorum.
I will make a motion in the absence of the supervisor to appoint Chris O'Regan to chair the meeting.
I'll support that.
All in favor of Trustee O'Regan chairing the meeting, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none. Okay, first order of business is the bills payable. I will entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to pay the bills in the figure of $195,594.84.
I will support.
So we have motion and support. So it's a little bit larger because we had two of the garbage fees on and the tipping fees as well as and a water fee, right?
Saw that, yes.
Okay, we'll do a roll call vote. I'm sorry.
We have
Any
discussion.
discussion on the bills payable?
No, I don't want to answer.
Maureen?
Questions answered?
No questions.
Trustee Shirkey?
That's my
No,
answer.
I'm good.
Okay, now we can do a roll call.
Chris O'Regan,
Yes.
Christy Hiltonen, yes. Joanne Shirkey,
Yes.
Maureen Gorey,
Yes.
Mark Borchardt.
Yes.
Okay, next we have a time slot for our supervisors report. Now, in the absence of our supervisor today, he's left us a few notes and requested that we read them, so we'll read them into the public record.
Dealing with building and blight issues, settled one court action, working on court litigation on a ZBA ruling challenging a zoning ordinance. Working on pension liability bonding, met with the Department of Treasury last Monday to review our application, answered several questions for Department of Treasury agents, and they said we should get the approval in about 3 weeks to move forward. Once we receive the approval, we can then move forward if the board wishes to do so. Met with the county parks concerning the beach park. Along with trustee Mark, we talked about our vision for the park. Working on one more property acquisition. About to start on the engineering and wetland study, then must apply to Eagle for approval. Still waiting for Eagle approval for the Harson's Island Nature Park. We did receive a grant to do the engineering for the bird observation platform from the Audubon Society through the county. The county has contracted with Pam Blau, who has worked on a lot of parks. Working on and in talks with the county for an agreement with all the stakeholders on the wastewater treatment plant. We have the basic framework agreed upon for the agreement. Had our yearly ICE meeting with the U.S. Coast Guard, ACOE, State and County Emergency Management, National Weather Service, and others about future ice jam operations and strategies. No new policy changes predicting lower water and average ice. Would like to set an ARPA funds workshop for our board in a couple of weeks to review how we can spend the funds and set priorities for it. I pinged Comcast on the status of our on-ground survey for broadband, hoping to hear back soon. Researching and looking for funding opportunities for our water main replacement and sewer interceptor programs. The Township meeting with the County Road Commission will be February 23rd at 4 p.m. on Zoom. This is where they review their funding and go over county projects. Once the meeting info is out, I will give it to the board. Met with the PC chair and member, ZBA chair, and a couple of trustees about improving communications with one another. Water plant update. New filter membranes have been ordered. There's a 5 to 6 month wait. Roof on chemical building to start work in April. Strainer work in February. Upgrade on the SCADA system in April. All items are waiting for materials to arrive. They are having issues with the raw water traveling screen, getting a diver to inspect it. Getting geared up for summer and fall events for the upcoming year. Having talk about combining the Sturgeon Fest with the Scarecrow Festival. Working hard on bicentennial event, gathering history and organizing events, lots more to come in the near future.
Thank you, Christie. Supervisor's report is done. Next, we have public comments. So at this time, we'll be taking public comments. We encourage you to come up to the podium, state your name, address, and typically we like to observe a time limit of 3 minutes. If you need more extension, depending on the topic of relevancy, we can grant that.
Good evening. Christine Holcomb, Gore Drive, Parsons Island, also Vice Chair of the Planning Commission. I just wanted to make a little comment and let everybody know, fill in the board as to who was not present at the meeting that already mentioned that we had, and let the public know. Chairperson Schweikart and I were, well, she was invited to a meeting to meet with a couple members of the board and Artie, and was originally thought to discuss her reappointment, and actually ended up being a meeting that she invited me to with Artie, Mr. O'Regan, Mr. Borchardt, Mr. Treppa from the ZBA, and basically mostly centered around opening communications more between the boards and possible education on our policies and procedures, and really not a lot to do with Kathy's reappointment or the anticipated upcoming public hearing. I'm sorry, I'm out of breath. The public hearing that's scheduled for the 26th of January on the size of the Planning Commission. So just want to make sure everybody's on the same page, that there was no discussions as to Kathy's reappointment at that time. That was really kind of a means of learning what we each do and how to make communication better between the ZBA, the Planning Commission, and the Township Board. So just wanted to let you all know. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, Kathy Schweikart. I live on Parsons Island, South Channel. Chris, thank you very much. I'm also at the present time chairperson of the Planning Commission. I'm just going to piggyback on what Chris has already said. After our meeting on Monday, I received an email from Mr. Bryson, which was dated Wednesday, January 12th, and I'll read this email. This email chain has been provided to every board member, present or not present today. And I follow the Open Meetings Act, so there's no violation. Double check with MTA, which is the Michigan Township Association's attorney, to make sure I did this correctly. So that's why I did what I did. But every member of this board should have received this email chain. The email started out with Artie Bryson on January 12th. It just said, hey Kathy, just wanted to let you know I am recommending to the board for reappointment you to the Planning Commission on our January 17th meeting. Thanks so much, Artie Bryson. I then responded on Thursday, January 13th, and just said, good morning, Artie. Thank you for your email regarding my reappointment request to the Planning Commission and letting me know ahead of time that you are recommending to the board my reappointment. During the years that I have been on the Planning Commission, I have strived to do my job on the board with the whole community's best interest in mind, along with the rest of the PC members, Planning Commission members. As we move forward, I personally continue that promise to keep that concept at the forefront of how I conduct myself. I plan on attending the Board of Trustees meeting on January 17th. Thank you, Kathy. So, like I said again, that was sent out after I sent Artie to the board members, so everybody knew. At this particular point, I did not know Artie was going to be here, which is fine. I also would encourage everybody to remember that we do have a Planning Commission meeting on January 26th, as Christine said, regarding one topic is definitely the public hearing for the size of the planning commission, whether it stays at 9 or 7. Our planning commission will make a recommendation after we listen to public comments. It will then be sent to this board of trustees to make their decision. Not quite sure if the board of trustees has to have a public hearing also. Artie was going to check into that to make
Correct.
sure that the rules were followed in regards to that. But our recommendation then goes to the board of trustees, and the board of trustees will do what they're going to do. If anybody has any further questions of me, I'm here to answer them. If not, I'll just have a seat in the back and watch the meeting. All right, thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Good evening. Jim Newman, 7650 South Channel, Harson's Island. Two things I want to bring to your attention. One of them was an email that I sent out last night, and I requested, people contact me back letting me know that they got it. And I didn't hear anything back, so I thought I would hand deliver the same message today to you. Should I leave it for Art? Sure.
You're welcome to it.
And
Yep.
Cindy down there.
Cindy?
Yeah.
I got you.
And then I just wanted to, I guess this is kind of a request in that on the December 20th meeting, the last 30 minutes of that meeting was Artie Bryson trying to educate everybody on how things went down with HIDA, the Blue Water Transit Authority, Champion Auto Ferry, and Clay Township. And he said on several occasions that he could back up what he was saying as the way it went down with documentation, and that he would sign his name to it. And after speaking with a lot of the people that night, we would like to see that documentation that proves the way things went down according to Artie Bryson as to why Blue Water Transit, that deal went away. He kind of blamed HIDA, saying HIDA didn't want anything to do with it, the people of the island didn't want anything to do with it. And so we would like to have that documentation available to the public.
Okay,
All right?
we'll make that request.
Okay. Thank
Did
you very much.
did you happen to see the YouTube video that he was referencing in regards to his December 20th comments?
No.
Okay.
Is it-
That, I believe, if memory serves me correctly, that's what he was referencing. And we'll have that provided for you.
Okay, thanks, Chris.
Yeah, you bet.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
So Cindy asked me to come to the podium. I have a few letters from residents. I read the wrong ones. And read them. They emailed the board and requested that these be read into public comments. And she wants me to be at the podium to do it. So, first one's from Donna. I don't know if I have to say her last name. Halakuglo from 898 North Channel Drive. Clay Township Supervisor and Board of Trustees, I wish to have this letter read during public comments. I'm unable to attend the January 17th meeting. I wish you all a happy and healthy new year. At the December 11th, 2021 meeting, I expressed my concerns over the change of start time of the board meeting from the original time of 7 p.m. to the current start time of 6 p.m. I was told by Supervisor Artie Bryson that it would be discussed later at that meeting and would be put on the agenda for the change back. It wasn't. This change to an earlier start time makes it difficult for many citizens to attend meetings. It is understandable that the change was made during the pandemic as most people worked from home. However, the meetings are now held in person, and as you are aware, most citizens that live in Clay Township do not work in the township, having to travel up to an hour or more during rush hour, which makes it difficult to attend a 6 p.m. meeting. At the December meeting, I inquired why and how this change time occurred. Cindy Valentine stated, of requesting the change and the board voted to approve it at the very same meeting. As a concerned and involved citizen of this community, I'm requesting this proposal to be brought up for discussion and voted with consideration to accommodate more community members to be able to attend these meetings in person. I'm requesting that the meeting time be changed back to its original time of 7 p.m. and would appreciate your prompt actions without any additional delays. Thank you, Donna. This is from Diane Miller at 7311 B Lane Road. Board members, I'm requesting that the following comments be read into the record for subject meeting. There's three comments. One, a few weeks ago, the township, in conjunction with St. Clair County Road Commission, replaced a sewer drain culvert at the corner of Ed Lane and Steer. During a subsequent board meeting, a board member asked if this was the culvert that the residents, me, had been asking about. Although Artie said that this was the culvert I was asking about, it was not. After 4 to 5 conversations with Artie over the last 2 years, it should be well known that the culvert that I am referring to is a canal culvert. I noticed that there is going to be a meeting with the St. Clair County Road Commission in February. I am again requesting that the issue of the canal culverts that were paid for and not installed be addressed during this meeting. We paid for them and we want them to allow better flow of the water through our neighborhood and the marsh. 2, I would also like to ask why the filters for the Algonac water plant were not budgeted for. It was stated that there was a life expectancy of 5 years for replacement of these filters, and we are now at 7 years since they were installed. In my opinion, it is unacceptable to allow our water to not be properly filtered for 2 years past the life expectancy. I have noticed a definite degradation in the quality of the water at my home and can't believe replacement of these filters was neglected. Do we know why Algonac did not budget for this and replace them in a timely manner? In addition, does the increase in water rates to cover these filters include budgeting for the next replacement in 2027? And finally, 3, my last comment is regards to changing the number of members of the Planning Commission. Clay Township is very unique in that we have 4 very distinctive areas: the island, the other side of the marsh, downtown area, and the more rural acreage area. Since the purpose of the commission is to adequately represent all of the residents, having 9 members allows for at least 2 representatives for each distinct area. It is not appropriate to compare the number of members of our commission with other nearby municipalities that don't have the diversity that we have. Each area has different needs that must be considered. It's not just the mainland and the island. Thank you, Diane.
Additional public comments? Hearing none. Let's move forward to the consent agenda. So the consent agenda, I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda, including our minutes, our draft meeting minutes from 12/20 of 2021, the check reports and payroll, and the in-between meetings.
Support.
We have motion and support. Any discussion? Yes, Mark?
Yeah, the draft minutes are incomplete. My comments on that were not recorded. I don't know if they could hear me or not. I was speaking with a mask, so I don't know if anybody can pick that up, but they're definitely not on there. So,
Okay. Would you like to go back and correct the record?
I'll have to watch YouTube and see what I said. But I didn't record it either, so. But I'll just vote on a negative when it comes around. Let it go. Okay. I'll correct it sometime.
Okay.
Well, we can just say that we can vote on it,
Yeah,
approve it with his corrections that he's going to email, and they'll just add them in. Is that okay?
With conditions. There we go.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah,
So
just.
You would prefer to, when you make a vote, you're going to vote with conditions?
I'll vote with conditions.
Okay.
Well, can we
Well,
make that that's what the vote is? That we all are
We're voting
on?
on the consent agenda.
Yeah, but can we vote
He is
to
welcome
approve them
to vote however
with
he
the
wants.
change made?
The motion was to approve the consent agenda, so you can back that up and say, approve the consent agenda with conditions for Mark.
Okay.
To correct it.
And Mark, those are things that you're going to take care of and introduce
That's correct.
back to the secretary? Or, I'm sorry, back to Cindy?
That's correct.
Okay. All in favor of approving the consent agenda with the corrections that Trustee Borchardt will be creating with our clerk, Cindy Valentine, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none. Next, we have the fire chief's report. Chief Rose, you here? Good evening, Chief.
Good evening. Chief's report for December 2021. I did not attend any meetings in that month. I am working on an AFG grant, and that will be a regional grant. And we will include Marine City Fire Department in that, along with Ira Township Fire Department and Algonac Fire Department. That's to purchase new radios. Hopefully we do get that. Downriver Goodfellows for that month, the activities that we had for that. We had a paper sale on December 4th. We purchased some clothes at Myers for the needy families on the 10th of December. On the 11th of December, we had the Algonac Lions do the bowl-a-thon to help raise money. And on December 20th, we gave away clothes and toys to the needy family on the 21st. And then on December 20th, we had the food giveaway, a little bit behind there. We had about 30 families in the township that we gave away to needy families. So it's down quite a bit, which is good.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, nice job, Chief.
Thanks, Chief.
The AFG grant for the new portable radios,
Yes.
if that's approved, do you know what the lead time is?
As far as getting those?
Yeah.
Well,
Is this like a year?
they're probably close to a year.
Is that?
Yeah, by the time you get the programming on it,
Yeah.
getting the programming from the state, that's about a year.
All right. So that's where you get the ball rolling now.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Chief?
Good job.
Thank you.
That's our fire chief's report for the month of December. We have no unfinished business, Board, so we're going to move straight forward to new business. First order on the agenda is a SAW grant update by PCE. Do we have a representative from PCE here? Anthony or John? That's a hard no. Okay, they didn't leave us any material.
Can we postpone that?
We can. Would you like to make a
I'll
motion?
make a motion to propose the PCE SAW grant update.
Support.
We have motion and support. All in favor of postponing the PCE SAW grant update, signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, officially postponed. Next agenda item, we have the Planning Commission. It's a reappointment, Kathy Schweikart, with term ending of 11/15/2023. I will entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to reappoint Kathy Schweikart for the Planning Commission as the chairperson, term ending 11/15/2023.
Support.
We have motion and support. So at this time, we'll open it up for discussion. Do you have anything, Trustee Schiff?
No.
Well, I have a brief passage written by our supervisor. It says, Clay Township Board of Trustees, we had a meeting to improve communications with a couple of members of the Planning Commission, ZBA Chair, and a couple of trustees. Did open up some lines of communication. Talked about some of the zoning ordinance that needed to be reviewed. We'll also be setting up another joint meeting with our board, the PC, and ZBA. At this time, I would like to nominate Kathy Schweikart for the board's consideration for reappointment to the Planning Commission. So that came from our supervisor, and that's within his jurisdiction and within his role to make that appointment. In this case, it's a reappointment. Now, as a board, we have to decide whether we're going to go along with that or not. So this is going to require a roll call vote. Do we have any more discussion?
Well, I put a little something together.
Okay.
I mean, here we are 1 year later, right? And we're still discussing her reappointment. January of '22. Her term ended November 15th of '20, so she served for a year without being reappointed. To me, that shows a huge commitment. That's my opinion. Kathy's service is highly respected. She brings over 15 years' experience serving on the Planning Commission. Since she was first appointed, she's been nominated and elected to serve as the chair every year. So that speaks volumes, I think, about her ability to get the job done. She works as a court reporter for the 31st Circuit Court in St. Clair County. Her husband was a builder for over 40 years. He still holds his license, but he's retired from the work. But I think, those experiences are valuable for the Planning Commission. Last year, many residents came forward. I brought all those letters again if anybody wants to see them. They got all their names, insisting that Kathy continues to serve. In addition, not one person on the board said that they wanted to see her replaced. I have, this year nothing has changed. Our residents and the peers still support her. I know we got some emails, right? Some of the community did email us. Last year, the only reason she wasn't reappointed, or that she wasn't replaced, was Bill Graytop. I don't know if you remember. He refused to take the appointment to the Planning Commission. He would have replaced Kathy. But he said Artie did not explain that Kathy wanted to continue to serve, so he backed out, right? So that's how she stayed on there. Artie, I think, has a different vision. I don't know, had been working diligently with everyone to discuss his concerns. I don't know. I think maybe he wants it now since he reappointed her, but he had called me in for a one-on-one. I don't know if you guys knew that. He put something in there about the meeting with you all, but didn't tell you that he also called me in. The meeting lasted for about an hour. It was just before Christmas. There was no valid reasons to convince me to eliminate Kathy, and he just said she wasn't a good communicator, and I guess that is why he set up that meeting. I explained to Artie that if he wanted something more from her, did he ask her about the communication, and had he done that? So that, like, again, he set up that meeting, right? So,
Trustee, our supervisor's not here
right?
to comment on what you're saying. So could I make a request that you keep your comments positive and directed at?
Well, I think it was positive. He was just saying she didn't have good communication, and I think it was positive because I said to him, did you ask her? And then he set up the meeting.
Yeah.
So I think that's a positive thing, right? That's really good. I'm not trying to be negative whatsoever.
Shouldn't restrict somebody's comment.
Let's see what else. I know that he already mentioned he voices concern about wanting the Planning Commission willing to rewrite ordinances, and I kind of looked into that. And it seems like the Planning Commission has worked continuously over the years to write, reform, and update zoning ordinances. Like a big process, right? They have policies and procedures, and it's not like they could just change the wording and then, because I didn't know it. I don't know if you guys all know the whole procedure on it, but they can't just ask for the change and then do it. They have to review it with the planner. It has to come on their agenda. They have to do a draft version, schedule a public hearing, formalize the language. I mean, I just found out all about this. And they have to vote on, recommend to the board, then send it to us, and then, we have to put it on our agenda and vote on it, right? So that's a big process. I just think that Kathy provides, and Whitey too. I don't know what's happening with Whitey, but I think that they provide the checks and balances that the community needs. Kathy is vowed to do her job like she talked about today. She's ethical, she's experienced, she's knowledgeable. I'm just wanting to ask you guys, because again, I'm new to this position, and if I'm missing something, or if you guys...
I'll comment after you.
All right, if you don't think she should be reappointed, I'd just like to know, because that might change my idea. So if there's something that you guys know or have, because you've been on the board longer than me and working with the Planning Commission, just, let me know before we vote. Is there anything that you want?
Well, not reappointing Kathy, but certainly set the Planning Commission back quite a bit. Kathy, over the years, has developed quite a skill set, and it would be a shame if she wasn't reappointed. She's the benchmark for a chairperson as far as I'm concerned, and she's the one that holds the planning commission together and keeps us on the right track. Because as you know, you get into those meetings with public comment, we can certainly go different directions. So she always pulls us back in. As far as the communication aspect is concerned about that, at that meeting that we did have, we did put in place where we're going to be getting the agendas for the zoning board as well as the planning commission at this board prior to their meetings. So that's in place right now. Thank you.
That's great.
Trustee Shirky, do you have anything?
Yeah, just one comment I'd like to make is that all those planning commission meetings, I believe, are taped, are recorded, and you can go on YouTube and look at them. If you are really interested to see what the planning commission is doing at their meeting. That's my understanding is that.
Yeah, and I look at the ZBA all the time.
Yeah, yeah, I know. Those are too recorded. Right, so it's not a problem for anybody in the community to take a look at those meetings on YouTube. If they can't get over, can't come over. It's just a point of interest to the public.
Thank you.
Oh, I don't have anything.
Well, this is going to require a roll call vote. So I think at this point we're ready for a vote. So the vote is on the table to reappoint Kathy Schweikart with her term ending 11/15 of 2023.
Mark Borchardt,
Yes.
Maureen Bory,
Yes.
Joanne Shirkey,
Yes,
Christy Hiltonen, yes. Chris O'Regan,
Yes. So by majority vote, Kathy Schweikart is reappointed. Ms. Schweikart, do you accept our reappointment?
Yes, I do. Thank you very much.
That's terrific. Thank you.
Forward to working in communication.
Thank you for your years of selfless service for our community and all that you do for us.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Next order of business. Oh, motion passes. Next order of business is 1C. We have a topic for the Algonac Wrestling Association. It's a recognition as a non-profit. So there's a resolution to go with this. I will make a resolution to approve the local governing body resolution for a charitable gaming license to the Algonac Wrestling Association for the period of January 17th, 2022 at 6 p.m. That is my motion.
Support.
We have motion and support. All in favor of approving the Algonac Wrestling resolution, signify by saying aye.
Communication. All right.
I'm sorry, discussion. Thank you, Mark. Let's start with you.
I'm sorry, who seconded that?
That was a dual second.
You can give it to Mark.
Okay.
Yeah. The baseball and football team, they have these as well, as part of the
As far as fundraisers? Yeah, if they choose to.
okay.
Yep, but as a board, it's our obligation, or our
I was just wondering why we
responsibility.
just don't do a blanket for all of them.
Because I believe they have to approach the board on an individual basis, because they don't hold their fundraisers at the same time. And when we approve a resolution for a fundraiser, I think it's very time-specific, at least in the past. Trustee Shirkey, correct me if I'm wrong, but that's how I remember approving them in the past. It's very time-specific, so it can't be blanketed.
Okay.
Thank you.
Oh, that's true.
Any other discussion?
Do we want the representative that's here to come up and speak about why they're looking for this?
That'd be fantastic. You bet.
All right, my name is Chris Hilton, and I am here representing the Algonac Wrestling Association. I'm the president of the association. So the way this came about is the Gaming Commission now requires that any 501c3 nonprofit organization gets permission from the local governing board to conduct fundraising in the community. So you'll probably see Mark to address what you're talking about. You'll probably see football coming in front of you. I know they did go in front of the Algonac board, so you may see the Football Association coming. If you are already in established fundraising, like for sports boosters, we're already established in the community fundraising, so we do not need to come in front. This was something that was just brought, I think last year they started doing the recognition of the local government board. So, but to touch on our wrestling group, just to brag a little bit, because they are our group, we are ranked 5th in the state in D3 currently. We have multiple ranked state wrestlers right now in our group. The group is undefeated so far this season in our dual meets. Our coach has received his 200th win in duels just this last weekend. I have 2 boys wrestling, so I do brag about them as well. My third son graduated from Algonac, and he's a wrestler as well. The group's trending in the right direction. We're real young. We got a lot of young freshmen, but they've been wrestling since they were 5 and 6 years old. So we're looking to go to the big tournament this year. So
Excellent.
that's what I have.
It's exciting.
Anybody have a question or anything?
Thank you for the information.
Yep, thanks for approving it, I appreciate it. We're going to, this will be our first fundraiser that we're starting under here, and it's going to be a sportsman's raffle. There'll be tickets available, you'll see it on Facebook and everything, so we appreciate everybody's support if you could. We're doing it for the kids, and the kids are fired up, they're ready to go, so.
Great.
It says gaming license, you can have online, not betting.
No, not online betting. We may be able to bet on that afterwards if you guys want, we can set something up. So, thanks, I appreciate it, thank you very much.
Thank you, Chris.
Yeah, great, thanks.
Go Muskrats.
Yes, thank you.
So we have motion and support for the approval of the resolution for the, the approval of the resolution for charitable gaming license. Motion and support. All in favor of approving the charitable gaming license signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion passes. Congratulations, Albanac Wrestling. Next order of business, we have the Clay Township Police Department. We have some information concerning the vehicle equipment purchases. And I believe we have the chief here. Good evening, Chief.
Hello, everybody. Well, we're hoping sometime in the near future to get our new cars in. Basically just trying to get everything put together right now as far as ordering on equipment and that. And right now we really have to kind of plan ahead because there's so much that's not in stock right now that they're waiting on. So it's going to be a waiting game regardless. So looking to get the board's approval to go ahead and start this process, get what we need. Now this is going to be for outfitting of the six vehicles coming in. I think this is going to be on the high end of it, but the only thing is a lot of times when you get into these, you end up finding anomalies that you didn't expect when you started digging into them, because a lot of equipment we use over and over from one vehicle to the next. So, you know, they taking them in or putting them in, taking them out, and that ends up taking a toll on them. So sometimes you're replacing things that you don't expect. So that's kind of where we're sitting with it right now.
So the cost of this is $32,000 for the equipment,
Not
Yes.
to exceed, yeah, not to exceed, and
not to exceed.
it's in the budget. So
You never
it's-
come in here with small change, do you?
And we try to do everything at once.
Right, well,
Good idea.
6 cars, that's, you know, what?
That's a lot.
5,000, less than 5,000 apiece, so.
Yeah, and you got to understand, we do everything ourselves on these vehicles. So you're talking for 6 vehicles, we're probably saving in the neighborhood right there, probably a good at least $60,000.
Are you going to be able to pull that equipment out when you turn the car back in?
Yes. Yep, we do all that.
Barring any body changes to the current package.
Yeah, and as of right now, they have not, well, the reason this is a little bit higher is because 3 of our vehicles that we have right now are 2018s. Well, they did change the body style since then. So we do have to replace a lot of different things in like cages and such like that no longer fit it. They kind of widen the body out on it. So a lot of this equipment doesn't fit. So 3 of the vehicles, we've got to upfit to adjust to that. So
That's small stuff, though, brackets and stuff like that.
right.
Thank you for that information.
That's easy for me to say that, you got to do the.
That's a lot of work.
Sirens, lighting, mounting equipment, a lot there. hiring, hardware.
So we can see we have something from Canfield Equipment Service in front of us, kind of talk about the equipment that the vehicles need. And we have a resolution in front of us, so I'll entertain a motion.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve the equipment purchase of the Clay Township Police Department.
Not to exceed $32,000.
Not to exceed $32,000 coming from line item 207-000-799.01 and 207-000-853.00.
Support.
We have motion and support. So, any more discussion? Anything? Trustee Shirkey? Roll call, please.
Maureen Bory,
Yes.
Joanne Shirkey,
Yes,
Kristi Hiltonen, yes, Chris O'Regan.
Yes.
And Mark Borchardt.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chief.
You got it.
Next item on the agenda, 1E, is for the DPW. And it consists of two 3-horsepower Flights sewer pumps. It's a refurbishing quote in the amount of $3,500 a piece. It looks like it's a budgeted line item. Line item 590-970. Is there a supervisor here? Good evening.
Good evening.
Could you tell us a little bit about what's going on here?
These are two pumps that were slightly used in a pond situation. They've been taken apart, checked, and then put back together. And they are both at a third of the cost it would be for two brand new pumps. And they come with a 1-year warranty, just like a brand new pump.
Gotcha.
And these two pumps can be used in, let's see here, 5 of our stations.
5 of our
Yes.
our lift stations?
Yes, they are a little overkill for 2 stations, but they are not undersized for the other 3, so it'd be perfect.
So,
We can have extra pumps for
backup.
everything. Yes.
So the current pumps are adequate right now?
The current pumps are adequate, but the problem being is lead times on anything now. If I was to order a new pump, it's 9 months out.
Smart move.
Yes. And the pumps we have are, some of them are around 30 years old.
Wow.
They are very, very good pumps, but they do wear.
Okay. So you want a couple of backups on the shelf
I would like
in the event that one of our lift stations go down?
Yes.
You guys can go out there and service it on the spot.
Because when we had high water, it was a nail biter in between. When you had a pump go down, you got one pump at a station, and I had nothing to put back into it. So.
Gotcha.
Do those pumps include the impellers, or are they?
Oh, they're complete. They're submersibles is what they are.
And you're being proactive, and this is going to save us quite a bit of money.
Yes,
How
ma'am.
much would they normally be, did you say?
They'd be in excess of $10,000 each.
Wow. So that'd be 20,000 versus 7.
Yes.
I call that cost avoidance.
It's just nice to have extra on the shelf for the cost.
Oh, yeah.
How did you run into them? That was good to find them.
Well, the gentleman from HD called us and wanted to know because he was rebuilding one of our other pumps, which this one would have actually worked real well. I was down to one pump on one station for almost 3.5 weeks, so.
I don't remember that. Order. So, okay.
Board, I'll make a motion to approve the DPW 2 3-horsepower flight sewer pumps in the amount of $3,500 each, coming from line item 590-970.
I'll support that.
We have motion and support. It's over 5, so can we do a roll, oh, I'm sorry, additional discussion? Read that part.
I'm good.
All right. Trustee Shirkey?
Yes.
Any more discussion?
No.
Okay, roll call, please.
Joanne Shirkey.
Yes.
Christie Hilton, yes. Chris Oregan.
Yes.
Mark Borchardt.
Yes.
Maureen Bory.
Yes.
Motion passes. Thank you, Lance.
No problem.
Appreciate it.
Okay.
Have anything else for us?
Might as well.
Yeah, we do.
Next line item.
Yeah.
We do,
Cemetery
yeah.
fence repair.
Next order of business is 1F.
From pumps to fences.
Yeah, it's from the cemetery. Regarding the cemetery, and we know that our DPW helps maintain that facility for us. And what's on the table is a fence repair in the amount of $2,429. Quote that we have is from Nationwide Construction Group. And can you give us a little backstory on this one, Lance?
Yeah, we were called in by our dispatch, and there was damage done to our fence and taken out 4 panels and 2 of the poles, but with no vehicle to be found. They done a little bit of homework. They did find a license plate, but there was no lead to anything at that point in time. So this is something that, you know, we'll have to pay for at that point in time because we don't have a vehicle or anybody's insurance to go after for it. So, and I did call, Wadham's Fence was the original one that put in our fence out there, and he no longer does the work. And I did call Radiance Fence, which never got a phone call back, and All Around Fence, and she had mentioned she would get out there, she'd send me a quote, and I called her twice and never got nothing back.
Is that an aluminum powder coated?
It is an
fence?
aluminum powder coated fence, and it is, every aluminum powder coated fence is just a hair different if it's made by a different company. So I called 2 other different companies, and they said it won't match up. You will see the difference. So Elite Fence is out of Mount Clemens, which is where the fence was made. So Nationwide was able to get us a quote, but the lead time again now is going to be 2 to 3 months in order to get it.
2 to 3 months?
To get it and get it out there, so.
Gotcha.
And this wouldn't be covered by insurance or anything, vandalism?
Well, this is something that we're gonna have to talk to Artie about, because there is a $1,000 deductible that we would have to cover. But they in turn would cover the other, $1,400, so,
Third of it anyways.
Right.
yeah.
So should we wait on that before we vote on it? Because this is,
Well, this is something that we could still pay for, and then it could be reimbursed back to the line item, I believe, correct?
Yeah,
Chris?
Yeah.
right, definitely.
Not all the time when it comes to insurance.
yeah.
Okay.
Typically, we would want at least a written authorization or written approval by our carrier. So you're under the impression that we have a $1,000 deductible for that
Yes.
cemetery fund.
Yeah, we did look at the insurance policy
The
too.
quote in front of us is $2,429. So it becomes a matter of annual rates versus filing a claim. Typically, your rates do not go up filing a single
Small claim.
pittance of a claim, right?
Right.
It's usually 3 or more, then you start having issues. You know, it might make sense for us to try and file an insurance claim. If it does,
At least we should
then,
ask Artie and Cindy right
just so
before
we don't put the apple cart in front of the horse, maybe we should postpone this discussion until our February 7th meeting.
I
Which
think
time
so.
at least we could,
The,
it
uh,
costs
I know
us
you
a
have
couple
to-
of weeks, Lance, but a couple of weeks in terms of if we're gonna be 8 to 12 week lead time anyway,
Right, I agree.
we're gonna be the end of the world. So maybe give us a chance to, maybe we could save $1,429.
All right.
That'd be worth it, okay?
Sure.
Oh, we Mark has-
So we need a,
So there's 24-hour access to the cemetery anyways, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so
There is no gates or anything that are closed on the driveway,
Right.
so really,
Doesn't make any difference.
No, it's
Somebody's gonna
big.
sneak in, right?
It's just an
well,
eyesore.
we still get phone calls because it's open, but it's like, if you walk another 300 feet around, you can walk right in the driveway, so it really doesn't.
Can we put any temporary things up there for the time being, just to make it look better?
I don't know what I could put up there temporarily.
It would probably make it look worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, a piece of plywood or something? That won't
And the orange fencing, that brings attention to it.
Nobody will notice it.
Yeah, I don't think residents.
It's winter.
Is that in an area where we might possibly need like a cinder block guard or something to keep people from?
This is actually probably 100 feet from the corner. So how they actually done this, I've got no idea.
Is this on the?
I mean, across from the garage door for Eckhart there, I can understand it.
Yeah.
But where this is at, it's right in the middle of the street.
Is it on that Eckhart side, or is it on
It
the
is.
Bolingbrook side, or?
No, it's on the Eckhart side.
Okay.
But somebody, you could see the tracks obviously lost it pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah, Lance, if you haven't done so already, I would suggest that you put up at least yellow tape.
We can do that.
Okay. And then people will know that it's going to be repaired. And
Sure.
kind of as a deterrent anyway.
Not a problem.
Any more discussion? Well, I'm going to make a motion that we postpone our cemetery fence repair in the amount of $24.29 until the February 7th meeting, at which time we can gather a little more information, see if it makes fiscal sense to file an insurance claim.
Support.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Lance. All in favor of postponing the cemetery fence repair, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion is postponed. Next, we have a, 1G is a meeting time discussion. So I think the topic at hand is our Board of Trustee meeting. And they used to be at 7 o'clock. They got moved up to 6 o'clock. So what this next agenda item is simply a board discussion about this. So I don't think that we're going to be in a position, nor, because this was set originally by a resolution. So we passed a resolution to move it to 6 o'clock. So in order to move it to 7 o'clock, we would have to pass another resolution. We don't have a resolution on the table. So really, this is just an open discussion.
And we need a full board to do that.
Really shouldn't have a full board to do this.
I think we move it to the February agenda, but, I mean, I'm in favor of at least negotiating and, you know, if we don't go all the way to 7, maybe do 6:30 or, you know, something like that. I mean, hopefully we can move it to 7, but
Okay.
if it's, I thought a lot of people are still working from home and Zoom, but if
Yeah.
they do have to drive, I mean, we know we live kind of far out,
7
right?
o'clock, you only work 4 days a week anyway.
Lots of hours.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I want everyone to be here. I want Cindy and Archie to be here. Don't you think?
All right, full board, that's.
Yeah.
I don't know who drove it the last time as far as making a recommendation. I agreed with it at that point in time, but now I see that, 7 o'clock to me would be better. But, leave that decision to the board. I get a lot of talking from the residents that 7 o'clock is a lot better for them.
I've heard from a lot of people too.
That's fine. Well, why don't we keep putting our feelers out, right? Keep talking to the people, find out what's going to be best.
I'll say too, that you can always watch it on YouTube.
Yeah, I'm a little concerned about, 7 o'clock. The only, the negative that I see is that we've got a couple people in our office that start at 7:30 in the morning. And when our meetings start at 7 o'clock at night, and sometimes they run for a couple of hours, it's 8:30, 9 o'clock. We're asking people to make decisions on a 14 and a half hour, 15-hour day. Right? People are not at the sharpest 14, 15 hours in the day.
Right.
Right? So that's just
Well, that's-
something to consider.
Yeah, that's why we did it first. Once a month. It's not about them watching the meetings so
Twice
much,
a month.
Joanne, it's about them wanting to attend. They can't attend when it's like, but that's why I was saying like maybe 6:30, or maybe we allow the people, Christy and Artie to come in a little later on the meeting days. Because they're gonna be spending time at the meeting, so they, wouldn't be a full 7 to 9 o'clock at night kind of a deal. Yeah,
That's not a non-negotiable.
right. That way, you know, it wouldn't be such a long day.
I got you.
But that's something already we got to
I think when we moved the meeting time before, another thing that we were considering was like our suppliers or our vendors that were coming in, sometimes they have to go to, I know we've had some people that say, well, I can't come to the meeting because I already have another meeting somewhere else at 7 o'clock. So I believe we were trying to make it easier for some of those people to get here and not be here, you know, if they're coming from somewhere else. They've worked all day and not be here all night.
Gotcha.
Make it easier as a resident.
Trustee Shirk, you got anything else to add?
No.
Trustee Murray, you have anything else to add?
No, we're just gonna postpone it.
Trustee Burchard? Anything else to add? Okay. Well, we're down to the last part of our meeting, which is the board member comments. We typically don't take, go ahead, sir. Go ahead, make it
I'd like
quick.
to suggest you take
Yep.
a reading tonight of the number of people that are here that want the 7 o'clock meeting. Then you have something to go by as to what the people want.
It'll be open to public discussion next meeting, right?
It sure will. Yep, it sure will. Yep, so I'm hearing, you know, I'm hearing kind of both sides right now, but we can certainly vote on it, and we want, you know, I want what you guys want. Personally, I'm kind of indifferent.
Well, he's just asking us to ask him, so how many out there?
Yeah, I'm not asking for a vote, just get feedback on how many people want
So
to.
it would be outside of our public.
That's rules of-
public
there's
hearing
rules about
if
that.
we did that, so.
Can't do it.
We're on to the board member comments. So trustee Burchard, would you like to start?
Yeah, like I said, we got a lot accomplished this evening, even without Artie and Cindy being here. I don't know how that happened, but anyways, that was a joke. And I'm glad to see Kathy back on the planning commission. Make a little note about Whitey. I really don't know what his status is. I don't know if him and Artie has had a talk about him coming back on, but I do know that he can still retain that position until he is replaced or he decides to quit, or he is reinstated. So, and Whitey is another one that is highly thought of on the planning commission. I would, same as Kathy, I would hate to lose him. He has a book full of knowledge, and he's very decent human being. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Warren?
Well, you know, you always do public service announcements, and I
Yeah.
like that, I admire that, and thought, well, I'm gonna put one out tonight. I just wanna say that I'm encouraged by the involvement of the community. People have been really coming out. I've sat on these meetings for a year, and generally the audience is, you know, it's pretty bare, and people have been coming out, coming to the meetings, and I'm very, very grateful for that. I think with the current political climate, you know, people have gotten more involved in politics, and it starts at the local level, right? So I hope that continues. I'd love to, because we're here to work for you, right? So we have 8,200 residents, let's pack this place. January 26th, I talking about everyone coming out. I think it's important, if you want your voices heard about the planning commission, that you still come that night, because we still, the public needs to know that the reappointment of Kathy doesn't really change that public hearing that's going to be held on the 26th to determine the public's desire of keeping the planning commission at 9 or reducing it down to 7. So that has to still happen, and the planning commission, they need to know your desire as to the number of planning commissioners you want. Your input will determine the recommendation that the planning commission will make to our board, and they need to be totally aware of the process. You know, I want you to know that the board will put on their agenda and then either adopt the recommendation made by the planning commission or deny it. So another thing that I just wanted to tell the board, and I'll email everybody separately, but that I was hoping to see on the next agenda. Cindy mentioned in February there will be some vacancies on the HIDA board, which is Harson's Island Transportation Association. We've received 2 people. That's the letter that Jim gave us tonight that would like to be on the board, and one other letter. And I know Artie has agreed at previous meetings that to excuse himself with anything that possibly might involve the bridge. So I don't know that he could be the one that appoints people for HIDEP, and the two people need to be appointed, right? So I wanted to officially volunteer that I could be the person that recommends who's appointed on the board, and then we vote on it. But I want the public to know, if you're interested in serving on the board, to please send us your resume and your interest. And we'll take all the people into consideration before we choose. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
My turn?
Your turn.
I just think it was Chief Rose and Chief Coach and Lance gave us a lot of important information this evening. Thank you very much for all that.
I just wanted to kind of piggyback off of what Chris said and let everyone know that we have a very important meet coming up on January 28th for the Algonac Muskrat Wrestling Team. That is on a Friday at 5:30 at the high school, and that is our dual meet with Richmond. So we'd like to see support. If you don't have plans that Friday night, come out and support our kids, because that's a big meet. Also, taxes are due February 14th. We do have an agreement with North Star Bank, so if you can also make your payment at North Star Bank if you have your coupon with you. And I just want to let everyone know ahead of time, if you're planning to mail your payment, please mail it early. We are having so many problems with the Postal Service. Today we received a piece of mail with a return with a postmark of November on it. We just received it today. So lots and lots of problems with the mail. So please don't delay.
Wow.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay, congratulations to Kathy Schweikart. Happy to have her back on the PC. And today marks the 58th anniversary of Martin Luther King's I Have a Dream speech. So I thought in closing I would leave you with three of my favorite quotes. One, I've decided to stick with love. Hate is too great a burden to bear. Second one I like is faith is taking the first step, even when you don't see the whole staircase. And lastly, life's most persistent and urgent question is, what are you doing for others? Thank you for attending the meeting tonight, folks. We appreciate it. I'll entertain one more motion. Support. Meeting is adjourned.